Hey guys, Kevin here again with Candy Cane Lane Holiday Lighting, doing an InvisiLights install. Here's the second half of this job. I'm getting finished up, as you can see. And then I have to jump this to there. I still have a section to add. I've already got the piece cut down and ready to install right there. And this runs over here. Oh, these dang upside down trees. And we're just going to terminate right there, and it's good to go. So a few things, depending on where the customer is, their porch is here, so you have to overlap these about a ½ an inch. That's just how it is. There's not enough wire to go end to end, and you don't want to do that anyway. You have to overlap these channels just barely so. And what I like to do is overlap the channel facing away from the view of the customer's eyes. For example, going up, this channel overlaps the next channel, so you don't see the line. It's the same thing with siding. When they're running siding down the side of the house, you see these lines right here. Unfortunately, the customer sees that when they're coming out of the house, but it's better to see that walking out of the house than coming into the house. And it keeps the rain and the wind out as it's blowing towards the house. But generally you want to overlap it away from the view of the customer. So for example, here it's overlapped away and away and away, and I'm not worried about dust getting in here. And then I have the opposite on this side. And it just makes it look a little cleaner for the point of view of the customer. The other problem that you will run into, unfortunately I have, and now I have to fix it. So the paint on the soffits is generally extremely thin. Like, it's as thin as it is on these channels. It's just like, you'll take your fingernail over it and you can take the paint off. And when you're trying to fit these channels in, you will be rubbing against the soffit with the back of the exposed channel. And you can easily rub the paint right off the soffit, as you can see right there. So I have to repair that now with a color match, and I probably just like a little foam brush so you don't see any brush marks, but I have to touch that up, unfortunately, because I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. So what I recommend is getting some good quality painter's tape and taping off all the area around your soffits where there's 90-degree angles, because that's where you're shimmying it and you're trying to get it to fit in there and line up just right, and you're going to start rubbing paint off the soffit, and then you got to fix it. The other thing is sometimes you have to pull the screws out of the fascia in order to get these channels to go all the way in, especially depending on the style of fascia. This is a J-hook style fascia where it overlaps and it comes up again against the soffit, so it's almost impossible to get the channel into the soffit underneath this fascia without taking all these screws out. And when you take these screws out, a couple things happen. On a non-rain gutter facing section, say like the front right here, when you start pulling those screws out, that fascia will fall down if you're not careful. It'll come off and you'll see the exposed 2x6 behind it. But you want to touch up the screws, so you want to have some color match paint to touch these up. It's worth going and spending $5 just to touch them all up, because unfortunately when you use your drill to unscrew those screws and to tighten them back down, you're going to take any of the paint that was on those screws off. Now these were originally white, and somebody came through and touched them up, and you can see a little bit of a touch up right around that screw. So somebody had to do this in the past, and now I have to do it again because they weren't color match screws in the first place. And your bit is going to take some of the paint off the screws anyway. But just to clean it up, that looks a little tacky, the white underneath there, and that's not my fault. That's because the screws are already white, and then somebody touched them up with brown, and then the brown kind of flaked off on top of the white because it wasn't prepped right. And that's, you know, I mean, who's going to know, right? Unless they're a builder or they do this kind of stuff for a living, siding. But yeah, so this 90 here, unfortunately, I could not continue this piece right here. And the reason being is this jumps up quite a bit. Sure, I